Do Crohn's disease symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help. At 12 weeks, rapid symptom remission was achieved in most patients taking Tremfya, and some experienced visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Explore what's possible and ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Surprise bill? Need fast funds? CashNet USA can help. When you need money fast, be the hero.
Apply in minutes at cashnetusa.com and get a fast decision. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times.
Welcome to Throwback Thursday. This episode covers odd stories from the wilderness that we deem the Wilderness X-Files. Who's playing Mulder? Who's playing Scully? Please stay tuned and find out.
Hey, B&B family, this is Derek, and with me today is the only man who talks more to trees and animals than his friends on the trail, Carl Mandrioli. How you doing, buddy?
You really believe that, don't you?
I've seen it, and I've witnessed it. Treebeard is more than a friend.
With me today is Derek Somerville. He's a man that used to work as a luggage detective solving mysteries. But you know what? His cases were open and shut.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I think it's going to be better, it's not. But you know what? That one flowed a little bit.
Yeah. So, X-Files, man. Were you a fan of the X-Files?
No, I wasn't. But
really?
I never got into the show. I mean, I like alien stuff too. I never really, I'll say this, I don't not like the show. I never took the time to get into the show.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
So
I would like to challenge you right now. I got a challenge for you.
Got it.
What is in your podcast directory?
My podcast directory as like the shows I'm watching.
Podcast that you listen to.
What's in there? You want me to name them?
I want you to name because I think this is going to tell us a little bit about you right now.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay, I got.
I'll name mine if you name yours.
I'll name mine if you name your. I have the NBA show. With some of these, I don't really listen to that much anymore. I have
You're already defending yourself.
I got Voxology.
Okay.
I'll skip that one. I'm just kidding. Backpacking and Blisters. I have the
yourself.
The Way I Heard It with Mike Rowe. I have the Poker Stories podcast. I have Park.
Just get to the ones I want to. You have like the alien ones and the monster ones. Come on.
I don't have alien. I got Park Predators. And I got Binge Mode about like today's pop culture stuff.
You've suggested multiple weird podcasts to me about time traveling, going to other planets, and like fighting the aliens there.
There was it, and there was it. I don't listen to it anymore, but there was one called Conspiracy Theories. That's where I heard a lot of that stuff. About the guy who lived on Mars with the insectoids and vortex.
So this is why I thought the X-Files would be up your alley, and that you actually
I like it.
Like binge watch the show, the whole series on a yearly basis.
No, on a yearly basis. Oh, jeez. That'd be so embarrassing. No.
All right. Well, for those who don't know, X-Files was a 1990s TV show that was based around files that were very mysterious, that may or may not involve the paranormal, where it was kind of like a branch of the FBI.
Mulder and Scully, I know that.
Okay. Here's what's kind of like a really coincidental fact is that we have a listener. I don't know if he wants me to share who this is, but somebody that listens to our show, that's a Patreon supporter.
You're going to do it anyway. Okay.
Has become our friend. I'm not going to say the name.
Okay.
But he's become a friend of ours. And he literally, as I was preparing for this episode, like shook hands with the director of the FBI.
Really?
Yeah, really. And I like he texted me a picture and I was like, that's amazing.
This isn't Tupperware Mike. You're not going to tell me.
It's not Tupperware Mike.
Okay.
I asked if he'd asked the director if he could come on our show. We're doing an X-Files episode. I thought this would be perfect to have the FBI director. Yeah, he dropped the ball on that one.
He's like, I would love to, but can't make it because Carl's going to be there.
Right.
So, yeah,
correct.
That makes sense.
All right. So you already referenced that, like the two characters on the show, Mulder and Scully.
Yep.
So you must know enough about the show to determine, are you more of like a Mulder guy or a Scully kind of person?
I don't know enough about the show to even answer that. I think I watched like one episode, maybe two.
I don't believe that for one
maybe
second.
two. Yeah.
That's impossible.
That's not.
Okay, so Mulder's the guy who's like really excited to investigate the paranormal, and I was always looking for kind of paranormal explanations for things.
So that's probably me.
And Scully's like the skeptic who's like,
Definitely you.
Really, there's got to be a scientific explanation.
That's
for this.
definitely you. Definitely you. She's a grader. She's a grader. She's an analyzer. That's you.
Well, I'm asking who you are though.
I must be Mulder. You're Scully.
I must be. No, you just
I'm Mulder.
You claim it with confidence.
I'm Mulder. Obviously, I'm not a grader. I'm not a skeptic.
All right. She's not grading. She's just trying to look for alternative solutions here. So,
okay.
All right. So we're going to I got 4 cases for you, and you've got to come up with, is this like some sort of mystery? Like it's just unsolvable.
Okay.
We can't explain it. Is this a hoax or can you solve it?
These are maybe true, or these are all true? Or we'll have to decide.
No, these all happen. These
all
are
happen.
legit.
Okay.
These are the Wilderness X-Files.
Okay.
And I don't know I think one of them has technically been solved. Okay.
One of them. Okay.
And one of them might be a stretch by saying wilderness, but it's definitely outside.
Okay. And are you going to tell me which one's been solved later, or no?
You'll figure it out.
Okay. I'll figure it out. I hope so. I hope so.
All right. Our Bible verse for the episode, Mark 4:11.
Okay. And
he was saying to them, "To you has been given the mystery of the kingdom of God, but those who are outside get everything in parables." This is Jesus talking.
Mm-hmm.
So, do complex and even simple understandings come across to you as parables, Derek?
Do complex and even simple endings come across as parables?
Understandings, not endings.
Understandings. It depends who's presenting it. Are you presenting it? Because if it's like a pun, then probably not. But that's the truth. That's the truth right there.
Okay.
True facts.
All right.
True facts.
I don't think you picked up on the insult from the question.
I did, and that's why I'm mocking you.
Okay.
How rude and inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna check your analysis skills based upon some of these cases here.
Fair.
All right. So
Fair enough.
I'm giving you like the bare bones, so you can ask further questions. You can dig a little deeper.
I will.
And on some of these, I have more information, but not all of them.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So unsolved mysteries, hoaxes, or something in between that can be explained away.
Bring it on. All
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's start off with the case of Death Mountain.
Oh, I feel like I've heard this. Okay. Death Mountain.
No, I made up the name, so you haven't heard this one.
Oh, but these are true that you made up. Okay.
These are true. I just gave titles and names to these.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Makes it more interesting. It's more dramatic. All right. This is 1987, a place called Silver Plume, Colorado, which it's like you've driven through when you come to the mountains to come out to visit me. A guy named Tom Young walked into the mountains with his dog and never returned.
Wait. Before you keep going, you said you renamed it, but are like the dates and the Toms, are these all made up?
I didn't
too?
rename anything. I simply gave a mystery a title, and these are all true.
Mystery
The names
title.
are all true. Everything's true.
Okay. 1987 Tom, go.
Yeah. Okay, so he walks into the mountains with his dog, and he never returns. All right? A year later, a guy named Keith Reinhard, who was intrigued by the story, moves to Silver Plume, opens an antique shop in the same location. Not long after that, Tom Young's body was found. The details are sketchy, and we're not going to delve into them right now. They're not really relevant to the case necessarily. A week later, Reinhardt closes up his shop. Remember, he's got the same building as the first guy. He tells people he's planning to climb to the summit of a nearby Pendleton Mountain, and after leaving the village, was never seen again. The details of his hike are a little strange. It was a 6-hour hike, but he didn't leave until 4:30 p.m., which is not typical in Colorado. You usually leave
Weird,
early.
yeah.
He wasn't carrying any gear and was not dressed for a long mountain climb. And a search of the area turned up no trace of him, so his body was not found. Also strange was that a searcher was killed after crashing his plane in the process.
A searcher?
Yeah, they're looking for him. They didn't find him, but the plane crashes on that same mountain area, whatever you want to call it. What is going on here?
It's obviously aliens
Okay,
of some
aliens.
sort. Aliens, yeah. So wait, okay, remind me, you said Tom and this guy had the same building?
So Tom, had a shop, and then Keith moves there a year later, intrigued by the story, opens up an antique store in the same
shop. Okay, so maybe it's like an alien under the stairs leading him up the mountain, and then they have like a secret bunker up there somewhere. Yeah. They're storing people.
Okay.
Over there. No, I don't know. I mean, is it like a portal? Is it one of those like portal things where like you go to the top of the mountain and you get transported electromagnetically somewhere else?
Okay, and this is why you're definitely Mulder, because your first two scenarios, your first two responses are paranormal, are weird answers for explaining this away.
Correct. I mean, it is weird though, because like if you You haven't found any body. Well, you found Tom's body. You found Tom. It doesn't. You're saying it's not important where they found him?
Like, I don't want to go over the gruesome details on his family-friendly show. He was found on the mountain, but he was found. Yeah, it was like mysterious circumstances is the best. Is kind of it's inconclusive whether there was foul play or whether. Yeah.
Was it like on the way up, or was it like some rando spot?
Unknown for me.
Well, you don't know that. Okay. I mean, if you found, I mean, the wilderness is so big though too. Like, who's to say?
Everybody, the wilderness is so big, you can't get wisdom like that anywhere else. Please consider subscribing to the Backpacking Bullshit podcast to get more of that right there.
That's right there. It is huge. Solid information. I think that the thing that the big takeaway is like, maybe Keith didn't want to be found.
Okay.
Maybe Keith left because if you found Tom, we don't know what's going on. Maybe there's an alien abduction. We don't know. But like if Keith made the premeditated thought of like, I'm going to leave it late in the afternoon with no gear and go on a 6-hour hike. Like, why would you do that unless you have like some kind of mental illness or something, or something else? Maybe I don't know. That's the biggest strange thing to me, actually.
Okay.
So
what your conclusion is? What
mystery? This is a mystery. I don't know.
So you think that? So when you say mystery, that means there's potential paranormal activity going on. It couldn't be a crime. It's not a
Possibly.
crime. It's
not necessarily a crime. No, I mean it's pretty coincidental for all three of these things, like the plane, all these things to happen. Maybe there's like some kind of weird Bermuda Triangle-y like situation. Anybody who goes near that area is going to get sucked up. I don't know. I think it's one of those unsolvable mysteries because there's not a lot of evidence, right? You found no trail of Keith?
Yeah, no trace of Keith was found.
Did they find the plane guy?
Yeah, they found the plane guy.
I mean, that's pretty hard not to find that guy, right? So
I don't know, man. There's missing planes all over the place, right? Like there's flight, what is it, 97? Or no, flight 17 in the Bermuda Triangle. They haven't found those planes.
Well, they're never going to find them. Did you find what happened to the guy's plane, like why it crashed?
That was kind of like a side note in the story. I didn't find out why it crashed. So it might have been, rough afternoon weather, or, I mean, don't you feel like a lot of those plane crashes are usually just those like single pilot planes? Like they're always crashing, man, those things all the time.
I guess. I mean, I guess I'd be curious, like, even if this guy's like a new pilot, maybe he had malfunctions. It's pretty crazy. It's the same mountain as...
Agreed. I think that's a coincidental detail. My conclusion, you were actually on to the conclusion that I came up with. So we were similar, and then you went back to aliens. But
Keith is the main one, though.
Yeah, Keith is the guy that disappeared without a trace. I think that he used that first story to kind of create some sort of mystery around the situation, and he was either faking his own death or just disappearing for whatever reason, trying to, kind of be part of that story there. So
it's weird.
I think that was intentional. I don't think there's I don't think it's a mystery. I think that this was a hoax.
Huh. Okay. Hoax. Yep. You're going hoax.
I'm going hoax.
All right.
Okay. That was actually my longest story. The rest are going to be a little quicker here.
All right. Okay. So
next, I've got the case of the mystery meat.
Oh boy. Okay.
This is from a long time ago.
Mystery meat.
One day in 1876, on a Kentucky farm, there was a meat shower. Not a meteor shower, a meat shower.
I'm sorry, meat shower?
The sky rained down chunks of meat with an indeterminate origin, meaning like they don't know what kind of meat it was. It's mystery meat. What could this be possibly from?
This is so ridiculous.
I know.
This is a hoax.
Okay, so 1876, we don't have a lot of planes going on up there.
Listen, man.
So what's the hoax?
1876 had a lot of weird stuff going on, I'll tell you that.
That's true.
A lot of weird stuff. It just doesn't add up. Like, meat, mystery or not, has to come from something that's like living of some degree. And they couldn't figure out what living thing. I mean, how much mystery meat?
Down mystery meat.
What was this area coverage of the meat? We're talking about like
it's on a farm. I don't know what the acreage was.
Oh, it rained just on the farm, an isolated area. That seems even weirder.
Yeah, so it could be the farmers that are hoaxing. I don't know what they'd have to get out of it. Like, come, buy food from our farm. It's had meat all over it that's rotting.
Did they say like they saw it? They say they saw it raining from the sky.
Correct.
Like out of clouds. Like a meat
they're
cloud?
both too far down on
A meat
on land to see actually like forming and coming down like from the cloud.
The filet mignon cumulonimbus cloud is passing the cirrus steak cloud. That's total hoax, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong.
So you think the farmers are the hoaxers?
Yes, that's ridiculous. I mean, did they prove it? Did they show you? Did they have pictures of all this meat?
And pictures in 1876?
I mean, exactly.
No.
So how do you? That's A, what a bunch of wasted food product, but B, like
they tested the meat. They couldn't find like what animal it's from. They didn't know. It wasn't from like a farm animal. It wasn't like beef or chicken or whatever.
So you're saying they found Sasquatch is what you're saying?
Ooh, I wasn't going down that road,
is
but
that what you're saying?
I mean, that's what Mulder would do. So
The Sasquatch massacre? Is that what that was? And then like a bunch of stealth bombers like dropped it on that farm. And
stealth bombers from 1876 who've time traveled. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And the Wright brothers weren't around then. So I mean, it's got to be the meat cloud. I mean, hoax.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
Did this inspire the movie Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs?
I was going to say that. Yeah. I think it inspired the second one, not the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There is a theory about where the meat came from.
Please.
You didn't ask if like anybody tried to explain this away, so bad question asking on your part.
Yeah.
And I actually think this is possible. I think this theory is possible.
Oh,
so the animals that could be flying up in the sky that would have maybe a little too much meat on them are vultures. Vultures tend to get at carcasses and they regurgitate the meat. And if they have too much in their mouths, they're not bringing it back to their nest. I don't know, whatever. And they're dropping meat down. I think that the story of like meat everywhere could be exaggerated. So that part could be a hoax. But I think that, some vultures could drop some meat down on the farm.
Just like thousands of vultures puking at the same time?
Like a flock of them. I don't know how many go in a flock or what. I don't know what you call a group of vultures.
Well, Bear Grylls could tell you. I mean, there was an episode about that.
True. So that's it. We can't prove it. So you're saying mystery. You get two mysteries in a row. All right, so you're...
no, I said hoax. I said hoax in that one. That seems like
hoax. You did. I'm sorry. You're right. Hoax in that one.
That's a trash one. Yeah.
Trash one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
3.
This is the one I'm actually most excited to talk to you about.
Okay.
So I got some scenarios with this one. This one is called The Case of the Weird Hitchhiker.
Huh. Okay. So this is... I'm guessing this is still unsolved because they obviously solved the meat one. So...
this is... Ooh...
Is this the solved one?
Sort of. It's still a mystery. It's gone by different names. This one I actually did rename. It's not called this by other names.
Okay.
You'll probably recognize the story, but maybe not.
All right, here we go.
All right. Travis Walton was a forestry worker in Arizona.
Okay.
In 1975. So this is right around the time you were turning about 40 years old. He went missing.
Yes, I have Elvin.
The police suspected his coworkers / friends of murder.
Ooh.
They took and passed polygraph tests for the most part. There was one that was inconclusive.
For the most part.
5 days later, Travis reappeared on the side of the road. He claimed he'd been abducted by aliens.
Is this the one he woke up in a field?
No.
No, that was a different one.
No, that was different.
That was different. Okay.
You're interrupting my story.
Yeah.
I have to ask the question. What happened here, Derek?
Somebody wanted attention, and his name was Travis. And that's what happened.
Okay.
That's pretty crazy. Like, what did he say once he was found? Did he say...
I was abducted by aliens, and he was found 5 days later, but to him, it was like a couple hours. He's like, he didn't realize he'd be gone that long.
I wonder if his... Did it say, like, did his friends, like... what did his friends say? I guess I'm curious what his friends said.
That's a good question. So his friends said that they saw a ship hovering in the forest as they're driving back down the mountain. And they saw, and then Travis gets out of the truck, runs towards the ship, and gets struck by a beam of light, which like knocks him off his feet.
Sucks him up. Yeah.
Doesn't suck him up. No, that's what I thought too. No, doesn't suck him up. Knocks him off his feet. The friends freak out and they take off. Okay.
So this is the movie October Sky. So this is that it?
It's not. I love it. That's what you thought of them. October Sky is like a kid like learning math to build rockets.
Oh wait, not October Sky. What was the other one?
Fire in the Sky. Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct. You put the pieces together here. Good job. All right.
Fire in the Sky.
So his friends take
October
off.
Sky.
They drive a quarter mile down. They're like, wait a second. We got to go get our friend. They drive back. He's gone.
Yeah, he got abducted by aliens. I mean, that's obvious.
Okay.
Okay. Did he have little probe marks on his eyes, on his tear ducts?
Oh
Did he
my
have probe
gosh.
marks?
I don't think that's been documented, like any like physical evidence. I don't think he had.
How do they
any.
not look at him and document and take pictures and do all this stuff?
I think that they did like medical tests, and he had been like severely dehydrated and malnourished for 5 days.
That could be anybody in the wild. That's you half of our trip. That's you half of our trip.
That's us after a backpacking trip.
That's crazy.
So here's my question to you: is like I thought about this, and I thought, okay, well, first of all, of our backpacking group, who's most likely to get out of the truck and run towards the
Rocky,
light? Do you think?
for sure. Rocky.
Really?
You think so? Or no, actually you. I think it's you. I think it is you. Yeah. You're like, ooh.
And so then I get struck by a light, let's say, and it freaks you guys out. You are in the driver's seat. Would you take off at that point?
I don't think so. I think I first get the camera out and be like, okay, we're gonna prove this.
Exactly.
We're gonna prove this, mother. We're gonna make sure people get this.
Right.
High definition.
Let's say we had 1975 technology. That's not your first thought. That you're right. That is people's first thought nowadays, for sure. But what are you doing? Like, I'm on the ground.
1975. That's tough because you don't have the good cell phone. You don't have like the good camera. It's all grainy, garbagey junk. So
and they don't have it with them. Like they've been working.
I mean, how do you prove that? How do you like go back down the mountain?
I'm asking your behavior as a friend in the moment. You're freaked out. You're like legitimately freaked out, and you see me laying on the ground. You're in a vehicle. You've been yelling at me to get back in the vehicle, and I have disobeyed you. I've not done it.
Do I see a giant ship above you?
Yeah. Or you think it is. Like we'll say like it's unclear what's going on. We just know there's like a beam of light that struck me.
I think we go out and grab you.
Okay.
Obviously your shoulders are huge, so I'm gonna need like 2 or 3 guys to help me. But I think Rocky and I and Jared would jump out there and grab you. Knowlton would try to whittle something or Eagle Scout something to fend off the ship.
Not everyone knows who these folks are. Just so our friends would come out and grab. You and your friend, you and the rest of our friends
would grab you. We would grab you.
I don't see a scenario where I just leave you. If the roles are reversed, you're the one that's like getting aggressive. I do not see that scenario. I could not I don't think I'd live with this with myself. Even driving just a quarter mile down the road, like I would feel so terrible. I'd be like, dude.
Oh yeah. Here's my question to you though: is if you see me on the ground and I'm the guy getting sucked up by the beam, and I start going up, are you running and like jumping and grabbing my foot and battling the beam of light and pulling me down and like, Rocky, grab my shit? I think
that with this like new workout regimen I've got going on, I think that I could pull you back. I think that I could be stronger than the alien beam, 100%. And I think if you kind of tense up your abs a little bit to kind of just try to withstand whatever power is pulling you in, I think that you could help out with that process too.
Alien beam strength. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, and if your shoe falls off, you haven't tied it very well, that's kind of on you at that point. I've at least given it the good effort.
So if the shoe falls off, it's on me. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's be honest, if we're at camp, and this is like part of a backpacking trip, and you've chosen to bring Crocs as your camp shoes, those Crocs coming right off. Like there's no chance of survival.
Forget about it. Forget the Crocs. Yeah, that's true.
So there's another reason not to bring Crocs, right?
Yeah,
there.
aliens hate Crocs. Aliens hate Crocs. So.
All right. So what do you think's going on here? Like, this is a very well documented story.
Yeah.
The guys seem believable. They were accused of murder, and it took 5 days for this dude to show up. So, do we think this is like a massive hoax? Did the guy somehow replicate an alien spaceship to even hoax his friends and coworkers? What do you think?
There's 2 things you can think. One, like, what is the goal if this is a hoax, right? Like, what are they getting out of this? Just like attention? Because like most people, they have to most people are going to just think we're crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, initially, right? Until you can sort of prove it by showing back up.
I mean, I get like you can't prove that there's no spaceship proof. I mean, there's nothing like that, right? So, and then the second thing is like, what kind of guys are like, hey, I'm coming up to you guys, and I'm like, hey guys, I got this idea. I want you to get like probably accused of murder for like 4 or 5, and then I'll just show up, and we'll fake everybody out. Like, who's going along with that? That doesn't seem like hoaxy to me. You're right.
I'm with you. And they passed the polygraphs for the most part. I heard that the polygraphs weren't administered all that well, and the questions weren't that great. One guy was inconclusive because he was like kind of a hothead, and they asked like the same questions 3 times, and by the 3rd time he just like yanked the cords out of the machine and like took off, so they called it inconclusive, but he had passed up until then.
I mean, can you ever really trust a polygraph for anything though at this point? You can't,
I don't know. Meet the parents, it worked, right?
I mean, you can't use them in court. You can't use them anywhere. They're not like admissible anywhere. So
you're right.
They're just sketchy.
No, for sure. But the fact that all the guys, there's like 4 or 5 guys that passed it, that seems
okay. That's
hard
a
to
nugget
pull
of
off.
truth. That's a nugget of something.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I just don't see the angle if it is a hoax. That's what's so weird about it. So,
Okay, so I agree with you. I don't think it's a hoax. I think there could be. I think I would just label it as a mystery at this point. I would label it as like maybe some kind of spiritual stuff going on, some spiritual warfare maybe going on, but I'm not an expert necessarily in that area. I don't know. Are you just saying mystery? Or
you're
what are you
saying like spiritual warfare, like, you know, God and the angels have like spaceships and stuff, or
not? I'm not saying the good side has that stuff.
oh, the devil and the demons have spaceships and they fly around.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. I don't want to go down this road. I'm not an expert in this area, but I have theories. We can talk later. Or if you want to ask about my weird theories, you can ask me later.
Was it a red beam of light or a white beam of light?
Fair question.
I think I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, that's a really weird. I mean, maybe something else happened to this guy and all of his friends ran away and just
They saw us.
were
They're freaked out at
embarrassed?
something. I believe them.
Were they embarrassed about something that happened? They just didn't want to admit what they really.
Well, they admitted to driving down the road a little ways and abandoning their friend.
But then did the friend come back and be like, I can't believe you guys abandoned me. I can't believe you guys did this to me.
In the movie, he said that.
Okay, that's fair. But he never said like they did something to me other than leave me behind. Right? So, I mean, that is weird. I don't know. That's a mystery to me.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
a mystery. All right. If you or anybody else you know has more information about this particular story, please share.
That is a
Please
good
share.
one. That is a good one.
All right, I got one last one here. Okay, this is called The Case of the Overdue Hikers.
Case of the overdue hikers.
3 men plan to make a long hike one day in the Sierras.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Okay.
I know this is going.
One of them,
Use jacket
the
for
leader-
pants. Yeah.
in the Sierras? Okay, one of them, the leader, mysteriously canceled on the other 2 guys a month before the trip. The other 2 men, novices at navigation, novices at trip planning, proper gear decisions, and generally knowing their right from their left, decided to go ahead with the trip. 29 hours later, they still failed to show back up at the trailhead.
Ooh.
Search and rescue is called. They chose to do nothing. What happened?
Wow. Wives were crying. Children were weeping. What happened? That is a fabulous question.
Right.
What happened? I think they went out ill-prepared. They went out overconfident.
Whatever happened to these guys? 2 guys,
did they?
what happened to the 3rd guy who mysteriously canceled?
I think
It's
he
kinda
sounds
weird.
like he had some kind of like foot/shoulder injury and just couldn't make the hike.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think these other 2 guys, I mean, maybe they got lost. I mean, 29 hours, they had to like whip out like an emergency blanket at some point. I mean, they had to.
Well, did they ever get found? Is a question I would ask first.
I think they got found. I'm going to say they got
Okay.
found. I think they wandered into somewhere and they were discovered and they were a little disoriented, little.
You're doing a terrible job asking questions for further details about this. I think
Because
you're
I
making a
know
lot
the
of
story,
assumptions.
so I'm trying to like
Okay.
think of questions. This is a terrible.
So questions are: were they ever seen again? They were seen driving a car from a distance in Yosemite Valley. There was
Oh.
one witness that saw them
Okay.
the next day.
Okay. Did they have blisters on their feet?
Yes.
Okay. And they are alive today. Is that this? They made it. Nobody
Presumably.
Nobody went to jail. Okay. Did search and
jail.
rescue ever do anything substantial to help?
They answered the phone and asked the same questions over and over again. They did a good job there.
That's huge. That's huge.
We got to have search and rescue on. We got to ask them about their protocols and process because that was very confusing to me. But yeah, if you wanted the full story, there's a full podcast episode from a couple years ago called Calling Upon Search and Rescue for the second time. So
Yeah.
cycle back to that one. All right, my friend. Those are the 4 stories. Was that last one mystery hoax or did you just solve it?
I think I might have just solved it. Yeah. I think they showed up and they popped the blisters and kept going.
All right, my friend. Well, I think that we are all a lot smarter and
Let's hope so.
better off after listening to those stories. And so I've got some X-Files trivia coming up right after this.
NetCredit is here to say yes, because you're more than a credit score. Apply in minutes and get a decision as soon as the same day. Loans offered by NetCredit or lending partner banks and serviced by NetCredit. Application subject to review and approval. Learn more at netcredit.com/partners. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
Everybody sleeps, but no 2 people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow. And the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get 25% off your first order when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
This is your before and after story. Instead of imagining a rewarding career in medical imaging, Southeastern College can actually take you there. Prepare for a career in ultrasound, radiology, and X-ray technology. With hands-on specialized training, simulations, and real-life experience with the latest imaging technology, you'll be ready to play a vital role on any healthcare team. Transform your life by helping others. Southeastern College. Your future is bright. Visit scc.edu to get started.
Do you struggle with joint pain, breathing at altitude, uneven terrain, or simple exhaustion? Then it's time to up your trail game, folks, with our good friend Rowan from Summit Strength. He's got a specialized program that will be just right for you to conquer your next adventure. Don't be left behind by the group again. Get your hands off your knees, get your butt off the log, and feel good getting after it with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. All right, I'm actually a little nervous for you on this trivia because I thought you'd actually be a bigger X-Files fan, so you have to use some of your own logic and reasoning.
It's poor research by you. Could have simply asked me that before we recorded, but that's on you.
I told you that it was an X-Files episode, and you didn't really respond one way or another. So.
I didn't think you meant verbatim, like.
Yeah, I mean, two multiple choice and true false. So.
All right, let's go. Let's see what we can do.
All right, a number of the X-Files episodes were based upon real events or real mysteries. All right. None of the ones I just mentioned, by the way, but those include all of the following except, I got three options. So it includes all these except for one. A, Russian Roswell. B, the Philadelphia experiment. C, the Alaskan mermaid.
So one of these is fake.
There's no episode based on one of these.
I don't know. Have any idea what the Philadelphia experiment is?
It has to do with like teleportation and really weird stuff.
I feel like the Alaska mermaid is something you made up.
Could be.
And the Russian, what was it? The
Russian Roswell, like an alien crash somewhere in Russia.
All right, I'll say Alaskan mermaid. I'll fall for it.
That is correct. Good job. See, logic and reasoning right there. That one sounds a little silly, and it was. It was silly.
That was
okay,
ridiculous.
Number 2. What is Mulder's nickname early in the show?
Ooh, I don't know this.
You might have actually, like, they use this a lot in the earlier episodes. Okay, so like they would call him something Mulder. Would it be A, Shadow, B, Spooky, C, Sinister?
Ooh, Sinister Mulder, Spooky Mulder, Shadow Mulder.
Yes.
I mean, I hope it's Shadow.
Okay. Now remember, he's the guy that's like leading the X-Files charge here. He's the one that wants to investigate these.
I'm going Spooky.
Spooky is correct, dude.
Yes.
2 for 2.
Spooky seems more TV-ish.
Yeah.
Sinister's too long.
Yeah. You're
wordy.
a smart guy. You're good at trivia. All right, number 3. Last one, true or false. An episode entitled Arcadia was an HOA satire about a monster that would attack homeowners who didn't comply with the community rules.
Oh, jeez, this is terrible. That is... I want to say true. I'm going to say true.
True is correct. They had that as a real episode.
That's terrible.
Gosh. I thought it was hilarious. Like, when I'm watching, I'm like, is this should we be taking this as part of their like canon storyline? I don't think so.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible. That's funny.
It wasn't one of the better episodes, but it was funny. The idea of it's funny, right?
Yeah, that's good. You got a review for us.
I'm gonna kick it to the next episode. I'm kicking it. I'm kicking it down the road. I want to do something else. I got a tidbit challenge for you, actually.
Okay.
All right. So a few episodes ago, I want to say like a month ago, we talked about we kind of gone back and forth with like Snickers energy bar versus candy bar, right? And you're in the candy bar camp, correct?
100%.
Okay. So I thought we could do a comparison between a Snickers bar and a Cliff Bar.
Oh boy.
A nutritional comparison. You tell me if you...
I don't think this is going to go well for me.
Well, it's not a trivia question. It's just...
I'm going to humor you.
Okay. All right. Bar number 1 has 250 calories, 43 carbs, 10 grams of protein. Okay. Bar number 2 has 280 calories, so 30 calories more, 35 carbs, 8 calories less, 4 grams of protein, so 6 grams of protein less, but it also has 2% of the daily iron content.
That's the Snickers bar.
Okay, so bar 2, you're saying the Snickers bar.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a trivia question, so
it's not a trivia question. It's just showing you like kind of blind comparison. Would you agree they're pretty similar there?
One's covered in smooth, milky chocolate, and one's not, though, right? Is that what I'm understanding?
There's chocolate in the Cliff Bars. They got
not
chocolate
nearly as
brownie.
much.
They got chocolate chip.
No, I'm sorry, no. Caramel, is that a nice, sweet, healthy thing to add? Nougat.
What's nougat?
I don't even know what nougat freaking is.
Like nutritionally speaking, can you agree they're pretty similar?
I don't want to agree with you because you're just gonna solidify
you're talking
energy
about
bar
ingredients.
case.
I'm talking about nutritional content. Can you?
One is candy in my mind. It always will be.
I'm not asking you to reclassify.
All right. Okay. There are some similarities.
There's a little bit more calories in the Snickers bar, a little bit fewer carbs, a little bit fewer protein, but there's some iron in the Snickers bar. Okay.
Okay. Some iron. Okay.
2%. All right. So
I think they have to put that on the wrapper, actually.
Can we agree that, like...
What is your goal here?
I'm making a point that it's not unreasonable to call Snickers a...
I'm not going to sit here and listen to this farce to, like, support your claim. I'm not going to do it. This is ridiculous. Right. Derek, you don't have to say it.
You already hit on the... I mean, you know, I get that the ingredients are way worse than
so bad.
But nutritionally,
oh boy,
just
can
saying,
you stop?
There might be some simple carbs versus complex carbs going on.
Snickers employees on the phone. That's what I want to say.
Okay. You can be in charge after you get your REI guy from nearby. And,
he's
like you've done a really good job getting guests, so just keep it up.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I work hard.
All right, I got one last thing. We've been getting some comments, one in particular about, like we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
We're trying.
It's kind of slowed down. It's been frustrating. We're trying to put out some good stuff here. I get that most people listen to podcasts, the audio version of the podcast.
Right.
People are searching YouTube all the time, finding our show, but we're not getting to 1,000. And we got one comment that was like confused. They're like, it seems like you guys have done this for a little while. Why do you have so few subscribers for the kind of content you're putting out?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which is like, it's kind of like a compliment. Like you really should have more subscribers. So
what's wrong with
to
us?
Answer, if you're new to our show on YouTube, the reason why is because we mainly focus on the audio app and we're new to YouTube. So that's why.
We just got going.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, instead of commenting,
do us a favor.
Subscribe.
Yeah. So anyway, so I think that was a compliment, but I don't know. How would you take that?
Backhanded? Is that backhanded? Compliment? Like,
why do you have such a poor showing with subscribers? That part's negative, but they're implying that it's because they think we should. I don't know.
I mean, had we been doing this live stream for 5-6 years, then that would be a valid point. But
yeah, and really, the live stream is YouTube is the second biggest search engine out there, so it's just a way for people to. To find our show. And then I don't watch podcasts, right? Like I typically will listen to them.
I mean, that's true.
While I'm doing something.
Does the YouTube, I correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really know this. Does the YouTube channel tell you when the channel started?
It does.
Okay. So then
but ours started a long time ago. We just weren't very active for.
Oh, okay. That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
But I don't know. Do you ever watch podcasts?
No, never.
Okay. The one time I will say is like, there's a couple guys that I like that do like running shows and they have an audio app, but they have like weekly episodes on YouTube, but they only periodically update the audio app. And so it's kind of a bummer.
And they have like 4 million subscribers or what?
I don't know. Should we have them on?
Maybe. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll find out. All right. So that, my friend, is all I got.
All right. That is all I got, guys. Thanks for walking down that crazy lane with us. We will see you next time. If you need some alien beam strength Check out Carl's workout regiment on all of our social media handles. He will leave a link for that. We will see you next time. Carl got pulled up by the beam, and I was in motion running to go grab his, I'll call him cankles, to pull him down and get him out of the beam. And then all of a sudden, the beam just shuts off and he falls down, and you hear the aliens like on the loudspeaker, and they're like, "We wanted this guy for energy bars, but all he had in his pocket was a Snickers bar."